All right, buenas Sera, good morning. You know who this is? It's your boy Big Rich, Queens, rise and shine, top of the day. However you like to take your coffee, I like my sugar with a little cream and coffee. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you take yours. But it's all good though, you know what I'm saying? Before we start business, this is it's been a while since we did a mom story in the morning. Perhaps, our little ritual smoking. In the morning times, I like to say a little wakish with the bakish. You know what I'm saying? Let's go visit the baker. You know what I mean? So if you haven't lit up yet, light up your joints, spark something up, throw some smoke in the atmosphere. Bless the situation, as I say. You know what I'm saying? Bless the situation. Give me a second as I light up, and we're going to get into this mob story before I go on to the streets of Queens and handle my business. You know what I'm saying? Light something up. Come on. Light something up with me. What are you smoking? And next week's show, I'm excited. Next week, all the next week, is going to be sponsored by two new flavors I just picked up: ice cream cake and Lord Skywalker. Not Skywalker OG, Lord Skywalker. Now, I could be Skywalker OG and somebody just wants to change the name, but who knows? But hold on as I light up my spliff. Blow a little smoke in the air. You know what I'm saying? Hold on a sec. Man, it's delicious. Jesus. You know what they say? While you smoke good, you live good. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get down to business. Ed Scarpo, salute to you, sir. We throw a little respect on your name for the article. Feds focus on Rhode Island Mafia and the Foxy Lady Strip Club. Gaythorne Pucci Angel Jr., 84, was indicted in 2016 for lying to a grand jury about shakedown money paid to the mob by the Foxy Lady Strip Club. He is the Angels family patriarch, whose friends range from Smith Hill politicians to Federal Hill wise guys. Pucci has long denied he was anything but a consultant, but a 2009 court document signed by a Foxy Lady lawyer showed that Angel had a previously undisclosed financial interest in the club, raising questions about the city's oversight of its liquor licensing laws. He since successfully completed a pretrial diversion program, as prosecutors noted in a filing in U.S. District Court Providence. If the judge agrees to the dismissal, Angel of East Greenwich will not face the perjury charge in federal court. Jim Martin, a spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office, said the prosecutors and Angel agreed last December that he was a candidate for the pre-trial diversion program, which he has now completed. The program moves people from typical criminal justice processing to what the Department of Justice describes as community supervision and services. In 2016, Angel was under oath when prosecutors asked him if New England Cosa Nostra capo Eddie Lato was given payments from the Foxy Lady. No, Angel said. He also denied directing anyone to pay Lato or any organized crime member. Prosecutors said those answers were a lie, and Angel was indicted because he knew that he was paying money or caused money to be paid to Edward C. Lato on behalf of his adult entertainment venue, the Foxy Lady. Several mob figures were charged in the strip club shakedown case. The Mafia has long had a presence at Rhode Island strip clubs, which pay protection money to prevent hassles. Hassles usually are caused by the very wise guys seeking to extract the payments. Prosecutors cited fights, tossing beer bottles as examples of hassles. Don't let me hassle you. You understand what I'm saying? The Foxy Lady was shuttered in December after three dancers were arrested on prostitution charges. Man, can't let the women do what they gotta do. Come on, everybody gotta eat, right? The club reopened in January when it was alleged that members of the family that runs the Foxy Lady had connections to organized crime and convictions for organized criminal gambling. Paying the mob to keep on the right side of the city's criminal underbelly has a long history in Providence, where top mobsters have gone to prison for shaking down the Foxy Lady and other clubs. The Foxy Lady opened in 1979. Retired State Police Superintendent Brendan Doherty has said it always has been a family business, No one's going to say anything nice about us, Angel once said. That's the industry we're in. We call ourselves a gentleman's club. They call us a strip club. We call our floor hosts. They call them bouncers. We call our girls entertainers. They call them strippers. After business sank following an undercover police sting there on December 11th that resulted in the dancers being charged with prostitution, the Angels began to focus on bringing the Foxy lady back. No funny business, just people selling a good time, Angel said, whether that's steak, tips, or lap dances. I like the steak tidbits with the anjou dipping sauce on the garlic bread. That shit is delicious. But I would never eat in no strip club though. I can't. You know what I'm saying? Where either you want fish or steak. You know what I'm talking about? Prostitution. To link us up with prostitution is an awful thing because it means me and my sons are pimps, Angel said. Shakedowns? I'm shocked, Angel said. I don't know who would be paying somebody. I don't know. The Foxy lady has always attracted traditional organized crime for decades, said Steve O'Donnell, a retired state police colonel and longtime mob investigator, as we have seen through various prosecutions and the court record. Robert DeLuca, a Mafia capo turned prosecution witness, Disgracia, testified that the Foxy lady was one of the places where he collected protection payments to kick up to Francis P. Cadillac Frank Salemi Sr., the former mob boss who was on trial for murdering a Providence man. Strip club owners would pay the city's crime family because they and their customers did not want to attract the sort of police attention that a rowdy gang of mob thugs could bring with the swing of a fist or a toss of a booze bottle. Sometimes there's fights in their places and stuff, DeLuca said. You know, he'd known Poochie Angel for years, DeLuca testified. He's one of the biggest bookmakers around, DeLuca testified. According to a court transcript, he owns a strip club, the Foxy Lady. Salemi got convicted and sentenced for life for the 1993 murder of Stephen DeSaro, a South Boston nightclub owner. Salemi, 86, and co-defendant Paul Wiedek, 64, were both convicted in Boston federal court and given life sentences for the 1993 murder of Stephen DeSaro, a South Boston nightclub owner. DeSaro, a 43-year-old father of five, was killed to prevent him from cooperating with federal authorities. His remains were unearthed behind a Providence Mill building in 2016. Salemi was in the federal witness protection program when DeSaro's remains were discovered, leading to Salemi's arrest. At the sentencing hearing, DeSaro's son Michael told Salemi about irony. You killed your father for thinking he was going to rat and become a snitch, when actually, Mr. Salemi, you ended up being the snitch. You are a coward and a murderer. Judge Allison Burroughs asked Salemi whether he had anything to say before she passed down sentence. Not really, he said. Anything I would have to say would be redundant, so let's just wrap it up. During trial, it was detailed how DeSaro, extremely distraught and dubious about a sit-down he'd been summoned to with the then boss of the New England Mafia, had left a note at his Westwood home for his family, telling them they wouldn't see him again anytime soon. DeSaro then stepped into a car waiting for him and disappeared. Salemi's son, Francis Salemi Jr., who died in 1995, had worked as an assistant manager at the Chanel nightclub DeSaro owned. He was on house arrest when he allegedly strangled his former boss as his father watched. Wiedek helped holding down DeSaro's legs. Stephen the Rifleman Flemmy and Robert P. DeLuca were among those who testified. Disgracia! Flemmy is serving life at an undisclosed prison for 10 murders. In 2003, Flemmy told federal and state authorities that he just happened to walk in on the May 10, 1993 murder of DeSaro at the Sharon home of Francis Salemi's former wife, according to DEA report filed in Boston federal court. Flemmy and Salemi had two others watch as Salemi's son Frank strangled DeSaro to death. Flemmy named the other two witnesses as Frank Salemi's younger brother John and friend Paul Wiedek. Salemi later told Flemmi that DeLuca was present during the burial of Desario, according to the report. Flemmi said, adding that Salemi had expressed concern about Desario's friendship with a law enforcement cooperator. When Flemmi implicated Cadillac Frank in Desario's murder, the former Mafia Don was already in federal witness protection program for cooperating with the prosecution of the notorious James Whitey Bulger and corrupt FBI handler John J. Connolly Jr. In Rhode Island, that same evening, DeLuca called Cadillac Frank from a payphone, and Salemi told him he was going to bring him a package. DeLuca also was told, "Get a hold, Doug." Salemi then drove Desario's tarp-wrapped body to North Providence in an SUV and transferred it to the trunk of a car for others to dump in a pit after dark. Salemi flipped and testified against Bulger, former boss of the Winter Hill Gang, and afterwards was placed in the Witness Protection Program. Salemi had been living in Atlanta, Georgia under the name of Richard Parker when he was arrested in August of 2016. Dutiful son Michael DeSaro also had words for the former Rhode Island capo Robert P. DeLuca Sr., who was sentenced to 5.5 years in federal prison last month. His crime was lying to investigators about the DeSaro murder. Prior to the U.S. District Court Judge Denise Casper passing down that sentence, DeSaro made an impassioned plea, the Boston Globe reported. Fighting back tears, Michael DeSaro asked Casper to impose a maximum term of about 12.5 years. He noted that his older brother, Stephen DeSaro Jr., struggled for years with substance abuse and died on the same day their father's remains was unearthed behind a Providence building in March 2016. "My father was everything to my brother Stevie," Michael told Casper. "He, DeLuca, took my brother's life that day in 2011 when he lied." Prosecutors recommended the 66-month sentence as part of a plea deal. DeLuca gave key testimony in the June trial of Salemi and Wiedek. "I do not feel good about myself that I did help prosecutors win those convictions," DeLuca said Tuesday. "I know I done wrong by lying in 2011, he said. DeLuca apologized to DeSaro's family and said he changed my life around since 2012. He said he rejected crime and was a churchgoer. An indictment unsealed in U.S. District Court in Boston in June 2016 charged DeLuca, 70, with obstruction and 2 counts of lying to the feds about the DeSaro murder. DeLuca also copped to participating in the 1992 slaying of mob enforcer Kevin Hannaran in Providence. During Salemi's murder trial, DeLuca testified about how Salemi had complained in May 1993 that DeSaro was stealing money from the Chanel nightclub. He also expressed concern that DeSaro was cooperating with the FBI. DeLuca also testified that Salemi delivered DeSaro's body to Providence and DeLuca arranged for his brother and several other men to bury it behind a mill. DeLuca also had pled no contents to plotting to kill mob enforcer Kevin Hannaran in Providence in 1992. Ed Scarpo, good job on the report. Salute. Thank you for everybody listening. The thing is, I recorded it in the morning, but you guys are going to get it tonight, all right? Because I got to run to work. I'm not going to have time to edit the mistakes. So when you guys get this, it'll be in the evening, but just remember it was recorded Wednesday morning. All right, everybody have a great day. Salute, and we will talk soon.